I'm Jerry Mooney, the General Manager of Signature Homes.
And I'm Matt Bro, I'm the Construction Manager with Signature Homes.
Today we're talking about floor joist systems, something that you don't see behind the drywall, but in the construction industry we're looking at every day to make sure that we're using the best practices for the best layouts for both structure and design for our clients.
There's lots of different types of floor joist systems out there. We use all of them, have used all of them in the past. There's certain ones we find benefits for and certain disadvantages with other systems, so we just want to talk a little bit today about those pros and cons of some of these systems. For first floor system we're going to talk about today is our standard dimensional lumber system. This is a 2x10 right here. Usually measures about 9 1/4 depth here. It's the oldest system you'll see, 100 years old, been used for a century. So with a 2x10 like I'm holding here, there are some disadvantages that can happen when you use them with your floor joist system. Mainly just natural defects of the wood. You can get things like crowning, cupping, twisting of the wood. All those type of defects can cause issues with your home later on or while you're installing them. You could have things like wavy floors, you can have squeaks in your floor. Things like that is why we started moving away from a dimensional floor system to more of an engineered floor system, just as times have moved on.
So Matt, question on dimensional lumber here.
Yeah.
So most economical way to build a house is dimensional lumber, been around the longest. Some of the reasons why we don't like using it on a design side would mostly be spans, correct?
Yep.
So we're not getting as large of a span as we are with other systems.
Of course.
Right, so that's causing for posts in living rooms, more teleposts in basements.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like a 2x10 like this can probably only span max 12, 13 feet long. When you only have spans like that, you end up having posts and bearing walls, which kind of get away from the open floor plans, like a lot of people like to see in these new homes today. So we've moved away from using these for the most part.
Yeah. So to recap on dimensional lumber, too many posts, too many teleposts, not enough span. It creates a lot of bulkheads. So you'll see we're going to talk about with other floor joist systems, you can cut through them. Plumbing, heating, electrical systems can go through the joist system, whereas with these, they run underneath. So especially if you're looking in a basement, at a basement suite, as an example, you might go from an 8-foot ceiling finished down to a 7 because everything is going underneath this joist. So most of the reasons why we're not using dimensional lumber systems anymore. Yeah, with an old system like this, you're very limited for what you can do for running things like plumbing, HVAC, electrical, that type of stuff. You can drill certain holes through here, but you can't run the big duct runs and the big plumbing drains and things like that through this. It's going to be against code. It's going to create a weaker floor. So like Jerry said, all your stuff is going to have to go under the floor. It's going to lower your head height. It's going to create bulkheads. It's going to create lower ceilings, as I said. So that's why we've kind of made the decision to move more towards an engineered floor system. Great. Well, let's look at some engineered systems.
Let's do that.
So now we've got what we're calling an I-joist system. So it's an engineered joist system. You're going to see you've got dimensional lumber on top with a strand board in the middle. Matt, what are we liking about these?
Well, with these systems, you're going to get a much straighter floor joist as compared to like a 2x10, 2x12. These are engineered. They're manufactured. What we can do is we can get this piece. They can come in at lengths of 28 feet long, and they are straight as an arrow. They're perfectly straight. You line them up as you're framing with them. You're going to create a nice flat, proper floor essentially. With the strand board, OSB, the strand board in the middle, you're going to be able to get HVAC runs. You're going to be able to get plumbing runs through there. You can basically cut holes in here to run all your stuff to keep your headroom up, so you don't have those duct runs underneath the floor.
So that's a reduction of bulkheads.
Yep.
And finished basement, that's a reduction of or addition to head heights.
Absolutely.
To keep a true 8 or 9 foot ceiling height, right? You're not cutting down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can maintain your ceiling heights a lot better, so you don't have those bulkheads. And the spans are just greater too. A piece like this could span 16 to 18 feet, whereas a 2x10 you might get 13, 14 feet. So we can run them across a building like this and not have those beams, not have those bearing walls. In the basements, as you said, Jerry, it's you're not going to have all those bulkheads bringing down your ceiling heights, making it feel like you're in a basement. You know, sometimes in a basement suite, if you're renting it out as an apartment, you want it to feel like you're in a proper apartment. You don't want to feel like you're down in a dungeon in a basement, things like that. So yeah, these are great to install because it gives you a lot more versatility in how you're building and how you're going to develop your house in the future.
Yeah. So as a design guy myself, I'm always pushing for our houses to be high ceilings, wide span, open spaces, large windows. So to create that, that's one of the main reasons why predominantly we've gone to an I-joist system. It's middle of the run as far as price point goes, more than dimensional lumber, but it gives us more options. And really, between the construction and the design, it's giving us the look that we're after.
Absolutely, yeah. And on a construction side as well, they're a lot better. Our framers like working with them. They're lighter than a dimensional lumber. They can frame houses a lot faster. We can speed up production times, things like that. If in the future you're going to have less squeaks in your floor, you're going to have all that type of stuff. So
perfect.
Yeah.
So the third type of floor joist system that we're looking at here is called a web joist system. So this is another prefabricated, just like an I-joist, comes out of a manufacturer, delivered to site looking just like this. More environmentally friendly as well, as it's using a lot of short pieces, so they're not having to use large trees to make long spans. So the way that they're making them here into the web, environmentally friendly. So Matt, what's this would be the top of the price point, the Cadillac of floor joist systems.
Yep.
What do we like about these?
Well, I mean, as you can see the open webs here, we talked a little bit about with the I-joist systems, how we can drill holes through the OSB webs in here. These ones, there's no drilling required. Our trades can do their rough-ins very quickly with these systems. As they're going through, they can run big ducts through here, big plumbing drains. They can get a house done faster. If they can get the house done faster, we can turn it over to our clients a little bit faster, and that's always a good thing for us. So these are great. The spans on these, this one in particular, this is a 14-inch web joist. We can get 18-inch web joists, which is the system we used in the main floor of the house we're in right now. We can get spans of over 22, 24 feet with a system like this, where again, with a 2x10, we're maxed out at about 13 feet on the span. Again, it's just a more versatile system. It is a little bit more, but when you're talking about the ease of rough-ins, the ease of renovations down the line, if you wanted to add some lights in your house, you want to add some pot lights, well, you can cut one hole and you can get run a wire all the way down here with a system like this. It's great.
Yeah, so we've seen clients that didn't know what they wanted to do with their basement, have gone to a web joist system. It was a clear span across their basement, so there's no teleposts, so they could plan where they want their walls. Their walls can go anywhere they want. They're not structured on exactly where teleposts are, which most other systems you would be limited to. Dimensional lumber, you may have 5 teleposts in a basement, whereas you move to an I-joist, 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2 or 3, mostly around the stairwells, where you might have point loads from the second floor or the main floor. But for the most part, yeah, you're with a system like this, you're able to build a house with very few teleposts in the basement. Everything's clear span, so you have more options with how you're going to develop that space in the future. You can shift rooms around, you can do whatever you want underneath them, because you're not needing those load-bearing walls anymore, which is a great thing.
Excellent. Well, let's get a look at the basement of this house, and we can show them what a web system really looks like.
Absolutely. So we're in the basement here of our show home to show you some of our web joists we use on this particular project. This one here is an 18-inch open web joist. As you can see, we've gone full span across this basement. A lot of our plumbing and our HVAC stuff is all up above here. It creates a very open, high ceiling basement. This foundation is 9 feet tall. You know, you can run all your stuff in here. By the time you get a drop ceiling down here, you're going to be able to keep that headroom up as high as you can to give you some versatility and make it feel like you're not in that basement, make you feel like a very comfortable living space down here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to be in a basement. It's a wide open, clear span. There are no teleposts minus around the stairs, which are just load pointing areas. You know, you've got big windows, high ceilings, and this is exactly, you know, what's going to make this basement be grand for, you know, an awesome finish for a pool table or that entertainment space, or especially for a suite. If you're looking at a basement suite, this is the way to go. You know, you've got high ceilings, and if you want the return from the rent, as people are also shopping as to which suite they're going to take in that area, you want the one that looks the best. So the planning stage is start at blueprint time. And that's what Signature Homes is here to work with you on, is to find which joist system is best for you. So just make sure that when you're taking a look at building with anyone, that you know what kind of floor joist system is in there, right? Because it's really going to change the look of the basement or any room in the house, really.
With the open webs in a basement like this, we talk about the not needing as many beams or things like that. As you can see, a lot of times in houses, in the middle of the basement, you'd have a large drop beam down here. That brings your headroom down. In the middle of a drop beam, you're gonna have teleposts. You know, as we said, a lot of times we have our teleposts around the stairs. Can't get away from those, but what we can do is eliminate the drop beams. Those beams are expensive in themselves, so, you know, by going with a larger joist, with an open web joist, we can eliminate the beam. That's gonna bring the cost down in itself. So, you know, if this were a 2x10 floor, well, you're gonna be able only to span to the midpoint. Then you're gonna have to have a drop beam on top of that. You're gonna have to have teleposts. Teleposts need a pile underneath to carry the load. All that costs money. So there are cases where an open web joist system like this is not gonna be that much more expensive when you take in consideration all those other costs. Yeah,
that's smart design, smart thinking from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. When customers come into Signature Homes and talk to our design team, talk to our sales agents, they let us know what their plan is for the basement. You know, if the plan is to have a future suite down here, an apartment down here for somebody, we can go with a system like this, and it gives them so much more versatility than just a standard 2x10, a dimensional lumber floor, where everything's going to be brought down lower, or you're going to have to pay a bunch more money to bring your walls up to create that headroom where we can get with a web joist system like this, essentially. So
yeah, nice job on construction here, Matt.
Yeah, thanks very much. So here's an example of a 2x10 floor system in this same house. In a drop landing area where we're not as concerned about headroom, this is only going to be a storage room. We're not as concerned about keeping the headroom up, but we will utilize a system like this to try and keep costs down for you. But as you can see from a system like this, even a 4-inch duct, water lines, a 4-inch ABS pipe like this, nothing really is being drilled through the 2x10s. You're always going below. Again, we're not as worried about headroom under here. You're gonna be storing stuff under here, but it's just a good illustration to show you what you would end up having if we're gonna be doing a whole house out of these 2x10s.
So that's a wrap on floor joist systems. We just want to make sure that you know what kind of floor joist system is going in the house that you're considering building. We're here to work with you to make sure that the functionality and future functionality of your house is going to be top notch, and making sure that your wants are delivered for wide span open spaces, no bulkheads. What else under construction are we looking at from your end, Matt?
Well, we want to get the house framed as fast as we can for you, right? We want to get the house framed in a timely manner. So, but from the time we start construction, the time that we turn over the keys to you, it's in a timeline that works for you, a floor joist system that works for your needs, and a product that's going to last for years and years and years at the end of the day. So. Floor joists are often overlooked. As we said, they're under the drywall, but it is a very important aspect of the house. It literally is what all your family and your personal belongings are sitting on. You want something that's going to be strong, sturdy, nice and straight, nice and level, and something that's going to stay that way for a long time.
Just make sure that you know the floor joist system that's being put into your house as it has an opportunity to deliver a lot of advantages. For as long as your house.
Yeah, and if you don't know, come talk with us at Signature Homes and we can work with you on finding the best system that'll work for you.
Once again, I am Jerry Mawani, the General Manager at Signature Homes.
And I'm Matt Bro, Construction Manager with Signature Homes.
Come chat with a sales agent at one of our showrooms today or check us out online, www.signaturehomes.ca.